part question 10 here then, so we've got to expand this here. 1 plus 8x to the power half, okay? We're going to use our binomial series here again, right, to do this. So it'll be 1 plus then the power, which is half, times then the x, which of course in this case now is 8x, plus then a half, and then that's n, so n minus 1 then will be minus a half. If you take 1 away from n, you get minus a half, over 1 times 2, which is 2, and then x squared, so you can do 8x all squared, right? You're going to square all of this, right? So important to do that. So this then becomes 1, plus then 4x, and here then this becomes an 8th, doesn't it, or minus an 8th, when you do that on your calculator, and then when you square that, you get 64x squared, okay? And then you get 1 plus 4x, and then this then becomes minus 8x squared, okay? So there you go, right? That's expanded up to x squared. And it does say then, of course, what's it valid for, okay? So remember now what it's valid for, you use this here, mod x is less than 1, but in this case, of course, you replace it with 8, so we got that there, okay? And then, you know, because it's mod, you can take out the 8, because 8's positive, 8 times the mod, which means then you take it over and divide. So mod x is less than 1/8. So then you get x then less than 8, okay, or greater than minus an 8. That's what this is implying here. Okay, so we've shown what it's valid for. Now when it comes to the next bit, it says expand this, right? And it's important for you to realize that with binomial series, okay, it should only be 2 terms in there, okay, right? That's what binomial is. I mean, if you look here, binomial series, there's just 2 terms, and there's always just 2 terms, because that's what the word bi means. There's 2 there, right? Now, when you got 3 in there, right? When you got 3 in there, you can't use the binomial series, right? It's just not possible. But what we can do is use part A, the first bit, to help us with the second bit. Now, it doesn't say that, doesn't it? It doesn't say, like, hence use the first bit to help you with this. It doesn't say that. But when you compare these two, actually, they set up very similar. Look, the powers are both half, right? They're both the same. And notice here you've got 1 plus 8x. That number 8 there is so important. And when you look here, 8 is a theme here, isn't it? You've got 8 there, but 8 is actually a factor here of this. So what I'll do is I'm going to factorize inside this bracket, right? So I'm going to have 1 plus, and I'm going to factorize these 2 terms here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 8 out, okay? I'm going to take 8 out. I'll put a square bracket to make it clear. You might be wondering, well, k is a factor as well. Why don't you take k out? Well, I'm not going to do that, right? Because of the way this is set up, 1 plus 8x. All I've got here is 8, isn't it? The number 8 in front of that x. So I'll just take out 8, and then you just ask, right, what do you times by 8 to get 8k? So it'll be k. And what do you times by 8 to get minus 40k squared? So it'll be minus 5k squared, right? So if you multiply out, you get back to this. Close the square bracket to the power half. Now when we compare that to what we've got in part A, okay, the first bit, notice it's pretty much exactly the same now, except that my x becomes this, okay? So x is essentially what's in that bracket there. So all we've got to do is set x to equal k minus 5k squared, okay? And then we've got this, okay? We've got exactly this, and we know the expansion to this because the expansion to this is up here, okay, which is nice. So then we can go along and say, look, this there is essentially equal to the expansion here, where x is set up to be this. So I'll have 1 plus 4, okay, and then put x to be k minus 5k squared, minus then 8, bracket k minus 5k squared, all squared, okay? So that's your x squared. Okay, so then, all you've got to do is expand, right? All you've got to do is multiply out. So we've got 1 here, plus then, that becomes 4k, that becomes minus 20k squared. You need to then multiply out this bracket. Now, for FOIL here, so we need to write this bracket twice. So in this bracket, you've got, if you do FOIL here, you'll have k squared minus, now we'll have k cubed, won't we? We'll have k cubed, or 5k cubed, and we'll have 5k cubed here, and if you do the last, you'll have k to the power 4. You don't need to do it, don't you? You don't need to do it, because the question says only up to k squared. So we don't need to do all of that, right? Which is great. So we end up having 1 plus 4k minus 20k squared minus 8k squared. So this becomes 1 plus 4k minus 28k squared. Job done. Okay, we've answered the question. We've gone up to k squared, exactly what they wanted.